Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to Travel Week webinars. I'm Devin Knaz. I'm the publisher and leader of Travel Week, a media outlet dedicated to getting travel agents the information they need, especially in these trying times we're in right now. Today we have a very exciting webinar. It's with Westjet and Agencia Global. They are going to take us through the booking procedure and also all of Westjet's new safety measures. We have two presenters here with us today. First, we're going to hear from Westjet's Reggie Lang. He's the key account manager. And then we're going to hear from Jimmy, the director of sales North America from Agencia Global. Now, I want to make sure that everyone stays till the end because as a prize, we have some heavily discounted Westjet air vouchers, which, you know, everyone's really excited to use. And we're going to do questions throughout. So if you have any questions, type them in the question box below and I will read them out to the presenters and get your questions answered. And if you have any technical issues, that's what the chat box will be for. So without further ado, Reggie, welcome. Hi.
Hi. Thanks, Devin. I appreciate that. Welcome everyone to the webinar. What I'm going to do is share my screen and get into things. First off, I wanted to obviously announce that we did make an announcement regarding our refunds. So if you do have questions regarding refunds, we can save that to the end. My focus today on this presentation is to talk about our Safety Above All series that we've done. So we've done a series of YouTube videos showing how safe it is to travel on Westjet and what can be expected throughout the journey on your trip. So I'm going to get into this moving forward, and there are provinces that are opening up and removing mask mandates. However, to fly, you still require a mask and need to maintain social distancing. So we're going to move on to the next slide here. So obviously our commitment is for our mutual guests is to take care of them, and it's stronger than ever. Westjet was actually announced as the top COVID compliant airline based on airline rankings. So we're pretty proud of that. So we do take safety extremely serious, and your guests can be rest assured that they will be as safe as possible when flying.
Hey, Reggie, sorry to cut you off. It looks like your screen isn't showing.
It's not showing?
No.
How about now?
Looks like something's about to load. There we go.
Apologies. Thanks for pointing that out, Jimmy.
No problem.
Next, I'm going to show you a quick little video. 1 second. And this is our Chief Medical Officer and our Vice President of Safety. So we've got, now it's not working. There we go.
Hi, I'm Billy Nolan, Vice President of Safety at Westjet.
And I'm Dr. Tammy McKnight, Chief Medical Officer at Westjet.
No matter how long it's been since your last flight, we're looking forward to safely connecting you to the people and places you've missed.
And while travel looks a little different now, our new Travel Ready series and resources will help you feel prepared for your next journey with us. You'll get helpful tips on what to pack, see how we clean and sanitize our spaces, and discover what to expect when you arrive at your destination.
25 years ago, we started this airline with the belief that air travel could be better. Today, our commitment to caring for our guests and Westjetters is stronger than ever. From before you depart to after you arrive, and at every point in between, we have your well-being at heart and will always put your safety above all.
So when you're ready to travel with us, we're here to make sure that you're travel ready.
Great. And next is, this is the actual series that we have created. So right from preparing at home, entry requirements, COVID travel insurance, WestJet vacations, in the air and at the airport. All of these videos are available in the WestJet YouTube channel. So you can easily direct your guests to these videos to understand what exactly is required of them, or if they're a bit unsure on the safety and the cleanliness, this will walk them through exactly how the plane is cleaned and what safety protocols are available on board. So I'm going to move on. So these links are live here, and again, these are all available on the WestJet YouTube website or link. And change cancel policies. We have been adapting and changing. So our current announcement yesterday is that all tickets dating back to February 1st of 2020, if there has been a schedule change initiated by WestJet that causes the original flight to be moved by more than 90 minutes, or there's a stop added, or there's a destination added that you no longer wish, one of those three triggers, you are now eligible for a full refund. And there are other policies, and everything's listed on WestJet Travel Agent Resource site with all of the Q&As, because I'm sure there's a number of questions. Like, if your guest has refunded to Travel Bank, can they get refunded? Well, it depends if their ticket is eligible for a refund or not, but it can be done. You do have to request an online form to have your WestJet Rewards dollars refunded back to original form of payment, but it can be done, and you do not need to call the contact center for that. It is all an online form. And from that perspective, there's other helpful resources. Our travel agent resource site has all of our COVID protocols, the cleanliness, and all of our most recent up-to-date refund policies, cancellation, and COVID book with confidence policies. And it does show you where we're flying right now and what the travel advisories are and any news and things that are coming down the pipe. And from that perspective, that's everything I had for today, but I will be obviously answering questions. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen now, 1 second, and turn it back to Devin.
Hi, thank you so much. That was exciting. I'm excited to get back on my next WestJet flight. We don't have any questions yet, so we'll leave those to the end. Hi, Jimmy, you're up next.
Hello.
I didn't want to butcher your name, so I'm going to let you do a full introduction of yourself.
So it's Jimmy Stavropoulos. I don't blame you for not even trying. So hi, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to be with us today. And Reggie, thanks for your presentation. So now you've learned a bit more about WestJet, the refund policy, safety policy. I'm here to kind of talk about making money again, right? We're getting vaccinated, restrictions are slowly lifting. So when it comes time to book WestJet, our hope is that you will do it with Agencia Global. So I will just give you a very truncated version of a demonstration that I offer to any agents who are looking to book with us. Just going to give you a few quick highlights of our tool and why you should book WestJet specifically with Agencia Global. And I will be sharing my email address at the end. So if anybody does want to reach out to have you know, a more in-depth webinar, please feel free to reach out. So on that note, let me just go ahead and share my screen. Here we go. So Reggie, since you're the only one who's unmuted, can you confirm that you could see my screen?
I can see it, absolutely.
Awesome. All right. So booking on Agencia is a 3-page process. First page is as simple as can be. You would basically enter your origin, destination, travel dates, pax count, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to search a quick itinerary, let's say from WestJet's hub in Calgary over to Toronto. The reason I'm doing Calgary, Toronto is because we actually have a promotion running with WestJet right now. So any combination of Calgary, Toronto, and Vancouver to and from one to the other, right now between today and the 31st of July, we actually have a $10 coupon bonus. So $10 per pax, whether you're booking one way or round trip, it's the same $10. So if you have someone from Calgary that just needs to go to Vancouver or Toronto with no return flight, you're still eligible for that $10. So I figured, hey, let's go ahead and book one of those itineraries. So once you've entered your origin and destination, at that point, you just simply select your travel dates. So let's go a couple of months out here and say, you know, from the 6th to the 12th, for example. So origin, destination, travel dates. Your pax count, Agencia will fit up to 9 passengers on one PNR. So be it adults, children, infants on lap, and on seat. That's actually a pretty short trip I selected here, but here, let's, okay, we'll leave it at that. And then let me just select nonstop flights. Obviously, no one's going to be interested in connecting from Calgary to Vancouver. And here we will make the trip a bit longer. So you could select nonstop flights. If you uncheck that, Agencia is going to give you both 1-stop and 2-stop itineraries as well. And I'm just going to draw your attention up here. Our currency selector is not just a currency display selector, but it's actually a point of sale selector. So for those of you who are in the Windsor area and book a lot out of Detroit, in Vancouver and book out of Seattle and so on, if ever you want to book a ticket with point of origin US, chances are the incentives available are better booking it as a point of sale US ticket. So we at Agencia Global have negotiated commissions and net fares with our airline partners for both POS Canada and the US. So if you were to book out of JFK, for example, then feel free to click on USD and see what results it gives you here. It's a domestic Canadian ticket, so obviously we'll click CAD. So at that point, you click on search flights, and this will take about 15 to 25 seconds, depending on how many selections there are. You'll note now, again, on any combination of Vancouver, Calgary, and Toronto, this Westjet banner is going to pop up, not only as a reminder that you have that $10 coupon bonus that will apply, but our banners are also somewhat interactive. So when you click on the banner, in this case, we set it to have a pop-up with a bunch of useful links available. So as Reggie alluded to earlier, if you check their YouTube links, their YouTube videos, there are a bunch of links in the description that you could click on, but this pop-up is also full of live links as well. So anything basically that you want to check out from Westjet is available right here. To close it, just click away anywhere and off you go to your results page. So here we are now. At the top, it just basically recaps the information you selected. So Calgary-Toronto round trip for five adults. And at the bottom is where you get your results. So let's say we're looking to book a net fare with Westjet because we want to apply our markup accordingly. Once you click on view flights, you're going to get a bunch of outbound and inbound flights. Basically, you could pick any outbound from here and any inbound from here for that grand total of $1,320. Now, if the price seems high, keep in mind this is taxes included for all 5 packs. Your price per packs is right over here. That's what that $264 is. When you highlight over it, it's going to give you the breakdown of base fare and taxes as well, if you're curious. And then once you select your outbound and your inbound flight, you'll get a bunch of fare families that actually pop up at the bottom. So your basic fare is $264 per packs. So when you scroll over those fare families, it'll actually show you what's available, what's out of charge, and what's not available altogether. So you could actually compare what the Econo has, including what the Econo Flex has. And if, for example, you were to upsell to the Econo, the price changes automatically right here, and you're ready to move on and book. So let's just hit book, which will bring us to our confirmation page. So it's a very seamless, user-friendly experience. What I tell new agents who come on board, those who are new to the industry, is simply put, if you could book your own ticket on an OTA, you're already ready to book someone else's ticket on Agencia and make money doing it. So on the last page, you have your flight details that are recapped. This is the itinerary we selected on the previous page. I just hit autofill here so that it fills out the forms with some passenger info, so you don't get bored watching me fill out information for 5 different packs. So we'll just let that page reload. And what I wanted to draw your attention to is once we scroll down and get to the point that we've entered all our passenger info, screen just froze a bit, little Murphy's Law in action there. When you get to the price breakdown section, this is where you could add your markup. In the case of a commissionable fare, it'll show you how much money you stand to make. That all shows up in the agency payout section. So here, obviously, we're working with a net fare that's non-commissionable. Your coupon bonuses are tracked automatically and reconciled at every payout, which is every 2 weeks, but they don't show up in the agency payout. So in this case here, for example, I have 5 packs. I'm already making $50 on this booking. So if for any reason, once we reconcile, you see any coupon bonuses that are missing, feel free to reach out to us, but it's basically an automated system that handles that. So no concerns there. So your markup right now is at 0, your commission is at 0, and it shows basically what the charges on the customer's credit card are going to be. So right now you've got the base fare and taxes at $1597.75 for all packs. And the reason I kind of fast forwarded to bring you here as soon as possible is because this is where Agencia kind of separates itself from the competition. So for those of you who are seasoned in selling WestJet, you know that when it comes to net fares, we can't apply the markup onto WestJet's merchant account. We have to apply that to a separate merchant account. So let's say, for example, on this fare here, you feel your justifiable markup would be, let's say, $50 per pax. So that's where you'd enter your $250. And what Agencia is going to do for you automatically is push that markup onto our merchant account. So this 3% service fee just basically covers the banking fees that we in turn have to pay by using our merchant account. So your customer is going to see two separate charges, right? One for $15.97, one for $257, with a total charge of $18.55. And now you could see that your markup of $250 is in your agency payout section. Now, we like to consider ourselves a technology company that chose travel as its specialty. So when we do these webinars, we're always open to feedback, basically, of what is it that we could do? What could we bring to the travel industry that would solve a problem you're faced with daily that no one else has solved yet? So to be quite frank, this is probably my 250th, 260th webinar. So in that time, we've collected a lot of feedback. One resounding answer was that people were tired of having to explain separate line items to their customers after the fact. So here you've basically presented a package price of $18.55, but then the customer is going to see those two line items on their credit card, and you may get an after sale call of the third degree asking what that $257 was about. Is that money going straight in your pocket, and so on. So we've actually brought a solution to that. So under our pricing strategy right over here, you'll note that lowest price is selected by default. What we mean by lowest price is that if you want to mark up your fare by $250, this $18.55 is the lowest price you could charge using Agencia, and that would be a function of two separate line items. Now, if you were to select single charge, you'll note the price is going to go up a bit. So it went up by about $48 from $18.55 to $19.03. But why is that? Because now we're pushing the entirety of the transaction onto our merchant account. So worst case, the only after sale call you're going to get in this case is, hey, I booked with WestJet, your ABC Travel, but I'm seeing a charge from Agencia on my credit card statement. And that's pretty simple to explain. We're your wholesaler. Everything's on the up and up. You're good to go. So this actually applies even to published fares. So if ever you're selling, for example, we all know US domestic fares, for example, come with zero nets, zero commission. It's pretty much an industry standard south of the border. You could still mark up your published domestic US fares and apply it to a single charge so that you could actually make money on those fares as well. In the case of commissionable published fares, feel free to mark them up anyways and push them onto our merchant account. We always give you the option to make as much money as you please. Now, if you want to know how much you could mark up based on an airline's policy, it's as simple as hovering over the question mark here. And you'll see, for example, a pop-up showing how much the airline allows for, followed by how much Agencia will allow for. So in this case, as we said, it's a WestJet net fare, therefore no markup on their merchant account. We in turn allow you to mark up to double the amount of the base fare on this ticket. So we haven't really had anyone call us and say, hey, we need a higher allowance than that. We could go case by case. Like if you manage to mark up this fare by more than $1,600, maybe you're in the wrong industry. You definitely need to be doing something a lot bigger. But yeah, if in any case you see the opportunity to mark up by more, feel free to reach out to us and we could adjust accordingly. So all that said, we're here to kind of innovate based on your feedback. So that was one of the things that agents were telling us that they were having headaches with. The other one is also that, here I'm making a booking for 5 adults. So the other one was, hey, I've got 5 friends all looking to travel together. I went through this whole process, and now all of a sudden, each one of them are pulling out their respective credit cards because one wants cash back, the other one wants, Canadian Tire money or whatever the case. So I'm stuck booking 5 separate PNRs. So we've actually solved that problem for you as well. You could accept multiple credit cards as the FOP on one single PNR. So how do we do that? When we get to our payment section down over here, so now because I clicked that autofill button at the top, we kind of have some fake credit card info here entered already. So if one person is willing to pay for everyone and they're going to figure out, repayment amongst each other, that's great. You leave it as single payment, enter your payment info right down here. Scroll to click on I agree to the terms and conditions and hit book and pay. That said, let's say everyone on this trip does want to use their respective card. At that point, you would click multiple payment. You'll get a drop-down menu allowing you to select as many credit cards as there are passengers on the trip. So let's say each one does want to pay with their card. If you scroll down to the payment section down here, you see now it's saying, please make sure to assign passengers or fees to their credit cards. So how do you assign a passenger to their respective credit card? We've got 5 packs right over here. We've got 5 credit card slots here. It's as simple as dragging and dropping them to their respective slots. At which point, when we get down here, we've got 5 tabs, which when we click on here, we've got Betty right over here. Let's say I'm using my credit card over here and so on. We got Reggie who's booking with his. So as I scroll back and forth, you'll see the names change. Basically, you could enter 5 different credit cards for this itinerary. Now, we don't allow for fare splitting. So everyone could use their own credit card to pay their own fare, but we can't take Betty's 380 bucks over here and say, okay, we're going to put 200 on card 1, 80 on card 2, and another 100 on card 3. The entirety of her fare does have to go on one credit card. So at that point, once you've entered all that information, click on I agree to terms and conditions, hit book and pay, and you're off to the races. So at that point, you're provided with a 9-digit Agencia Global confirmation number. If you have any questions, you could feel free to call us. Basically, you'd hit the contact us link right over here. If you want our contact info, you could call us, you could email us, you could chat with us by clicking right over here. And usually tickets are received by email within the hour. So since we've got 50 plus people on the webinar right now, I don't want to take too much of your time. So I gave you basically the very truncated version of my presentation, but feel free to reach out anytime. I'll put up my, here, let's just type it right here. So if we do that, there we go. So this is my email address right over here. If anybody does want to reach out to me for a one-on-one webinar where we could take a good 45 minutes to an hour, feel free to reach out. We'll book something and we'll have one-on-one where you could ask me a bunch of questions. Obviously, you're welcome to put anything you'd like in the Q&A right now if you have any questions as well. But otherwise, yeah, if you want to book one-on-one, I could show you basically the registration process, the entirety of the booking process, selecting flexible dates, how to look through fare rules, what your itinerary would look like, what the invoice would look like. Agencia actually auto-generates that for you as well. So no need to use separate software to generate an invoice or to generate the itinerary. And on that note, that's pretty much it for today. So I will stop the screen share. There we go. And Devin, I guess right back to you.
Hi, thank you, Jimmy. That was very interesting. Okay, I just want to remind all the agents that we do have this discounted Westjet ticket up for grabs if you stay till the end. So please stay till the end. And if you have a question, please put it in the Q&A box and I'm going to go through them right now. So Jimmy, let's start with basics. We had someone asking what exactly is Agencia Global? And I think I know the answer to this question, but they're asking if all destinations are in there.
Yes, so actually the company is Voyage à la carte. Maybe you've heard of Voyage à la carte. Agencia Global is our booking tool. So basically Voyage à la carte has negotiated net fares and commissions both in Canada and the US with basically every airline under the sun. We've worked very hard to improve our content over the last 5 years. So yes, basically any destination, point of origin, Canada and US, whether you're looking to book domestic Canada or Southeast Asia or Northern Africa or Europe, you name it, definitely look us up.
But your favorite airline is Westjet, right, Jimmy?
Oh, come on, goes without saying.
Okay, we have another question from Celine, and she would like to know if she marks up the fare and then the flight gets canceled, what happens to her commission?
So if like with Westjet specifically now, or
do you refund the full amount plus markup, or does it just go under commission is the question.
So that depends on the airline's policy. So I can't really give a clear-cut answer on that. Once you make a booking, knock on wood, something happens and the flight is canceled, we'd have to check with the airline and see what their policy is. So without getting too specific, there are some airlines that protect the commission, some that don't. And I'm not just talking about the Canadian market now, I'm talking US as well. it's really a case-by-case situation.
Yeah, it seems she's giving a little bit more color to the story. And she said in recent days, due to COVID, she had a refund less markup. So the client wasn't very happy with that. But I know this is a very hot topic.
Look, that very well may be the case. And again, it's not something within our control. It really depends on the airline that you booked with. So in that case, for example, that airline's policy dictated that the markup was not refundable.
Okay, Celine, I hope that helps. Reggie, this question's for you. How is Westjet adapting to the sudden influx of passengers that suddenly want to escape Canada and go somewhere?
Well, it's a positive thing, and we're excited about that. So what we have been doing is we've actually been planning for increased demand. So we actually started recalling flight attendants, pilots, operational control people back in May. At the beginning of June, we actually initiated a recall for an additional 3,000 people. So from as far as on-board experience, you're not going to see any difference. We still have masks. We haven't been blocking the middle seat for quite some time. So we do have full planes flying within Canada at this point. Our biggest issue right now is our contact center. So we're receiving higher call volumes than 2019 levels with 30% of the staff. We have recalled 311 contact center agents. 100 of them accepted the recall, and we've had to go out to market to get additional contact center employees. So what's been happening this past week is we've actually seen our toll-free number actually get too busy over the past 2 days, and you can't get through to Westjet. So we're very aware of this. It's not something that we are proud of. It's a circumstance of COVID and the sudden spike in demand with calls coming into the contact center. So that's why we're trying to alleviate calls directly into the contact center and ask for self-serve options for you to go there if you can. If not, we're doing the best that we can, but we're excited to be flying again. And WestJet is increasing our capacity throughout Canada, but we've also added in some new destinations. So we're ready to welcome you on board and excited to see you there. Hopefully that answered your question.
And can you give us a hint as to when we might see some more international destinations?
It all depends on the Canadian government. That's the issue right now. So Canadians can go out of the country, but Canada is not letting anybody into the country unless it's essential travel. Yesterday, Prime Minister Trudeau announced that the U.S.-Canada border, the closure is supposed to be ending on the 21st, and he's indicated that it's probably going to be extended further. So that just dries up demand, and we can't operate flights without demand. There's certain flights that are operating that are subsidized through cargo. So from that perspective, we are going to operate those flights regardless if there's guests on board because we have a purpose for that flight. But I'm really hoping that international travel is going to really open up in the fall because we should hopefully see more vaccinations, have a consistent standard across the board as far as the vaccination passport. But that's what's holding us back are the different countries' restrictions and rules. And also the Canadian government has definitely been hampering us because they just don't want to open up the borders, even though we've hit our vaccination targets that they stated.
Yeah, it's a bit of a puzzle. All these different countries have all these different rules, and then our government is being quite conservative as well. So yes, I can imagine the kind of conversations you're having at Westjet trying to figure this out.
You might as well shake the magic 8-ball and try and get an answer that way. It's very challenging.
Okay, Jimmy, I'm going to go back to you and ask you some more technical questions.
Sure.
How many passengers can you book with this platform?
Up to 9 on one PNR. We don't do groups. So as of 10, you're basically booking a group. So 9 and under.
Okay, and someone wants to know, can you tell them again how charges work when adding commission on the payment? Do you want to go over that again, or do you want to have them reach out to you?
How charges work
afterwards?
when... So I assume the question would be how charges work when adding their markup. Maybe they said commission instead of markup. So it could work in 2 separate ways. So, you know, if we take the example of an airline that has a certain markup allowance, for example, let's say 25% of the base fare, we'll keep the math simple. Their base fare is $1,000. So they'll allow you to mark up to $1,250. At that point, you would select the it's already selected by default, the lowest price feature. And when you enter your markup of $250 in the markup box, at that point, your fare will just be automatically adjusted, and it's going to be one charge on their credit card showing the airline's name. Now, if you want to exceed that markup allowance, or you're working with a fare, for example, there are many airlines, for example, that don't allow for markup on their net fares on their merchant account, and you want to use our merchant account, you can do so, at which point the customer would see two separate line items. So the airline for the base fare and taxes, and then Agencia Global for your markup. Or if you select the single charge feature, then the entirety of the fare would get forced onto our merchant account, and you'd have one single charge under Agencia Global. Now, keep in mind, when you use the single charge feature, your total price for the ticket will go up, because now that 3% service fee that was applied only to the markup is being applied to the entirety of the fare. So at that point, you would either have to charge a bit more to be able to use the single charge feature, or maybe just lower your markup a bit so that you end up on par. Hopefully I answered the question. If not, please feel free to ask a follow-up. But you see, that's the area where, you know, one-on-one webinars would come in handy, because then we could kind of delve deep into it. So I noticed, Devin, you put my email in the chat. Please, everyone, feel free to reach out. I tend to ramble, in case you haven't noticed, but I promise within 45 minutes we could cover basically all the features of the platform together.
Okay, thank you. We now have a few questions from Kim. She would like to know whether there are any booking or ticketing fees on top of that, and whether the terms and conditions for the flight are the same as the airlines.
Yes. So there is a way to look up the airline's fare rules before you book the ticket. So basically, on the results page, you'll have every airline listed in ascending order of price. On the right of every single line, there's a little a little blue eye that when you click on it, we auto pull that information straight from the GDS, and you would see all the airlines' fare rules. So we don't change the rules in any way. Whatever the airlines' rules are our rules as well. And there was a second part to that question, not just the rules, Devin, but what else?
Fees.
The fees. Okay, yes. So at Agencia Global, we make it very simple. There are no registration fees. There are no transaction fees. We don't mark up our net fares. So anything that Reggie loads for me in the GDS, basically whatever net fare you were looking at during the demo is exactly what Reggie loaded for us. And we share 100% of our upfront commission in the case of commissionable published fares. So not only is there no fee to use the platform whatsoever, but we're not taking a cut on the net fare or the commission.
Okay, thank you. Kim has one more question. She wants to know if you guys have any rewards programs for agents.
Not at the moment. So that's basically the, exchanging 4 quarters for $1 argument. Like, I could keep 2% of all commissions and then have a drawing for, a couple of travel vouchers or whatever that I pay for out of that cut that I keep. We're not here to tell you what to do with your money. So we're going to give you the entirety of the upfront without a points program, and do with it whatever as you see fit.
That is a great answer. Thank you. Okay, Reggie, let's go back to you. This is also about rewards. Susan, we have rewards on each of my clients from the canceled Westjet vacations they had. Can they get the refund from the rewards points?
They can, provided that the ticket is eligible for a refund. So it all depends on the ticket type. I need to understand what that ticket rules are, or if it was affected by a schedule change. So the COVID book with confidence policy is in place. And then again, the recent announcement yesterday was to do with schedule changes. So anything 90 minutes added a stop or a different destination, that is fully refundable. So again, if they've been refunded to rewards, you can get that back to original form of payment, even if those Westjet rewards have partially been used. So you can get the other part refunded as well. It is an online process form, but it can be done, yes.
Oh, wow, that's great. Okay. Jimmy, this is back to you.
Yep.
Can you just explain to the agents the difference between commission and markup?
So basically when an airline has a fare on their website, again, we'll keep the numbers easy. Let's say WestJet has a $1,000 fare for, Toronto to Gatwick round trip, for example, right? The published price is $1,000. Let's say the commission on that is 5%. So basically, you have to sell the ticket. It'll show up as a published fare in Agencia or your current booking tool of $1,000. And then after the fact, once you've made the booking, basically, we're going to pay you that 5% commission. Whereas in the case of a net fare, we'll keep the same numbers. It's $1,000 published fare, but they're giving you a net fare that's 5% off the published price. So now all of a sudden, what you'll see in Agencia is a fare of $950. And if you want to sell it at that price that's on westjet.com, for example, you would then add a markup of $50 to it, and then you could get paid that amount after the fact. So you could actually, you could combine, when it comes to Agencia, you could combine commission and a markup, right? You could take that $1,000 published fare, get your 5% commission, and then add a markup to it of $100, $150 as you see fit. Because you could be doing stuff behind the scenes for all I know, like you've been working with these customers for 10 years, you take care of their hotel reservations for them, you throw in restaurant vouchers, whatever the case may be, limo service to and from the airport. If you want to consolidate all those costs into, the price of their airfare booking, will allow you to do that. So think of a net fare think of the published fare as an MSRP if we're talking about consumer goods, and the net fare would be your cost price on that MSRP. And then the markup that you add to that cost price is your markup. Whereas in the case of a commissionable published fare, the airline's telling you, you need to sell at that MSRP, and here's the commission we're going to pay you. Regardless of whether it's a markup on a net fare or a commission on your ticket, you're not going to end up divulging that information to the customer, provided you're using the single charge feature on the net fare. In the case of a commissionable published fare, there's no disclosure of commission on the ticket or whatever. You've sold at the price the airline wants you to sell, and you're making your money behind the scenes.
Okay, that's clear. Reggie, let's go back to you. Can you comment on some of WestJet's partnerships and the joint ventures you were aggressively pursuing before this whole COVID situation? Has anything changed?
Yes, things have changed. So with regards to our transborder joint venture with Delta, what we've done is we actually withdrew our joint venture application because the previous administration gave us a not very favorable response. So we chose to withdraw our application, and we are going to be reapplying for the transborder joint venture with Delta Airlines probably in August, and give the new administration a chance to get caught up to speed and make a better decision, and hopefully approve that joint venture sooner than later. Now, WestJet is looking at doing a transatlantic joint venture with Delta Air France KLM. The reason why we haven't done anything on that joint venture is because we want to make sure that we get the transborder joint venture across the line first, because the DOT tends to lump things together. So we want to get the transborder joint venture approved and operating first, then we'll apply for the transatlantic joint venture. And the future is endless. There's lots of opportunities. We've got the transatlantic joint venture. There's talk of a trans-Pacific joint venture as well. WestJet is continuing to grow. We have aspirations to get back into the international market in a big way. Announcing our newest route, Amsterdam-Calgary, is another prime example of our plans to continue to grow internationally. The Schiphol Airport's a great hub airport, and it will connect on, and it gives us lots of opportunities to work with our other airline partners.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, Jimmy, more questions for you.
Fire away.
How do the agents then get paid? Do you send them a check, or do you?
Bi-weekly check.
Bi-weekly check.
Yeah.
Okay. And someone wants to know, I think I know the answer to this, like if they already have a WestJet account, they still need to recreate a new account with Agencia, correct?
Yes. So when you go to www.agenciaglobal.com, the landing page will give you the opportunity to either log in or register. So just hit register. It's very basic. We ask for an admin name and email, name of the company, and we do ask for some form of accreditation. We can't just, have our friends and family join as honorary travel agents. So there's a drop-down menu. You could choose one of IATA, ARC, TICO, CLIA, TIDS, TRUE, OPC, or CPBC. So as long as you have one of those certifications, submit your application. We'll receive it and either either accept or reject within an hour. Reject because sometimes we've noticed in the past that we'll get an application for an agency, let's say in Idaho, and then you look up the ARC number and it's somewhere in Southeast Asia. So you tell yourself, okay, maybe this isn't necessarily on the up and up. But yeah, if you're a Canadian or American agent with your IATA or ARC number, we'll look into that, and within an hour you'll have access to your Agencia account.
Okay, thank you. That is all the questions. So I'm going to give you guys each a chance to inspire agents and get them excited about what's to come, hopefully by the end of the summer, maybe in the fall, sometime soon. Reggie, you go first.
Everything is on the bounce back. It's the perfect time to take some trips. You have to watch out though. In the sun destinations, the Americans have been wide open longer than us, and we're starting to see hotel stop sales on our Westjet Vacations product. So my suggestion to you is to book now, lock in your price, because it's only going to get more expensive as we continue to get demand increases. People are going to travel, and you might as well get in there before they do. Yeah. We are slowly adding back services, and we're updating. We've brought back food service on our international flights as well, which is a step in the right direction. We've got brand new 10 Boeing 787 Dreamliners. Come and experience them. They're incredible aircraft. And even the 737 MAXs, those are back operating and safe, and they're going to be a fantastic experience. So please hop on board, take advantage, and get someplace soon.
Thank you, Reggie. Thanks for being here. Jimmy, okay, yep. Final word to you.
So yeah, as Reggie alluded to, we're actually seeing that demand materialize in terms of future bookings. So definitely, if you're looking to lock in a price, do it sooner rather than later. I guess all I could add to that is lock in that price through Agencia Global. So why Agencia Global? Just quickly to recap, it costs you nothing to register, no transaction fees, no booking fees, no monthly fees. And it's fully web-based. You don't even need GDS knowledge. So we're there to service bookings for you. You could reach out to us and we could take care of servicing. And we're always looking to innovate, right? So we're the only consolidator on the market right now that's going to allow you to apply virtually unlimited markup to your tickets without creating a separate line item on the customer's credit card statement. We're the only consolidator for the time being that could allow you to accept multiple credit cards on one PNR. So the innovation portion of things is already there. And kind of to go back to the good old days prior to COVID, I love pounding the pavement for exclusive promotions. So right now, if you want that $10 drop net, for example, on any combination of Vancouver, Toronto, or Calgary to any of those three destinations, that $10 per ticket is exclusive to Agencia. To give you a little perspective, before the pandemic, we had done 12 straight months of bi-weekly promotions with every 2 weeks, there was a new exclusive Agencia promotion, be it a bonus commission or a ticketing fee, or you name it. And the minute international demand picks up, it's my favorite part of the job. So I really look forward to you signing up with us so that I can make you as much money as possible.
And I'm going to have one last comment. I just want to reiterate again, thank you to the travel industry. It's been such a tough time. We really do appreciate your support, and we want to climb out of this together. The future is bright. Things are going to come roaring back, and we're all going to make a lot of money together. So thank you for sticking with us, and thank you for your confidence.
Devin, I just noticed one more question that popped up at the end. So just to answer where our office is, we're based in Montreal, and we also have an office just outside of Atlanta for our US business. But we have agencies from coast to coast. So if you're in BC or Washington State, feel free to reach out to us and let's get to booking.
Okay, great. Thank you very much to both of you. It was a pleasure having you here today. That was super informative. And I think we're all a little bit more inspired to go out and find those bookings.
Awesome.
So agents, you have their contact details. And thank you so much for staying until the end. And we're going to do the draw for the Westjet voucher offline, and we will reach out to the lucky winner. So thank you so much, Reggie, Jimmy. Bye, agents. Take care.
Take care,
everyone.
Have a great day.